Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 1074 of One Piece. We had last week off of the series. There was a little bit of a break, but that's because the live action series came out on Netflix. And now that that's been out and we've been reacting to that, we can get back to the actual series. So, we've just been continuing on with the Gear 5 fight against Kaido. Everyone else is doing their thing. Momo still has to try and figure out how to work his clouds to get the ever-looming Onigashima away from the flower capital. A lot of stuff going on, but it's kind of winding down. And it's very clear it's winding down. And that's good. Because while I'm one who often defends One Piece's pacing and everything, the animes specifically, and I've never really had too much of a problem with it. I will be the first to admit Onigashima specifically has dragged out a little bit. Like, compared to even the rest of the Wano arc and just anything else in this series, even Dressrosa, which is infamous for a lot of people for feeling dragged out. I never felt that with Dressrosa. But with this, I do feel it. I'm being completely honest here. And it's not, like, too terrible. It's nothing major. It's nothing that overall hurts anything. It definitely doesn't kill my interest in the series. It's just there have been some parts of Onigashima, especially kind of towards the middle of it, leaning into near the end of it, that has felt very long. But again, it's not to a degree where it actually like really hurts my interest in the series, because things do keep happening. And it keeps my attention going, and the investment of getting to Gear 5th, like ever since that first happened in the manga and I was spoiled, the investment in getting to that alone was keeping me going. And now we're reaching the end. This fight's going to be ending, and we're going to get the post-Wano stuff, just closing out the arc and everything. And then we're going to be moving into the next arc, Egghead Island. And I wonder, is that going to be represented in the new opening? That's right, if you didn't know, there is a new opening starting in this episode. It's actually a really big deal, because the previous opening had been going for quite a while. In fact, I think it's one of the longest running openings for One Piece. Yet it somehow doesn't feel like it. I remember when the last opening started, and I remember when when I wasn't like super sure on it at first. I was very. It didn't feel like a One Piece opening to me. I believe that's what I said. But it grew on me a lot as I continued to watch it, which a lot of openings tend to do. The more you watch them, the more you enjoy them, just because you kind of have to keep watching them over and over. But I did grow attached to it. But it just feels like yesterday we were watching the opening prior to that. It's just, even though there are parts of this that have dragged on, it still feels like it's gone by so fast. And that's wild to me that both of those can be true. I'm excited, though, to see what this new opening is like. I actually haven't heard people's thoughts on it. I knew it was happening, but I haven't heard what anybody actually thinks of it. And I'm actually kind of glad for that, because as usual, that means I don't have any preconceived notions or thoughts going through my head. Because even if I try not to, it's like if I hear someone's thoughts ahead of time, it will affect how I think. It's a subconscious thing. I try to always go in with as open of a mind as possible, but, you know, that can still subconsciously affect you, even if you don't realize it. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this new opening is like, and I'm excited for more Gear Fifth greatness. The animation has been amazing. Um, I'm just, I'm in. I'm all in to see how this ends. I feel like they have to show at least some Egghead stuff in here, right? Because there can't be that many episodes left of Wano. And there's no way they're going to introduce another new opening for Wano for that few amount of episodes. They've got to have it, like, bleed into Egghead a bit. I don't know if they're going to, if it's, I don't know exactly how long Egghead's going to be. So I don't know exactly how many episodes it's going to cover. But yeah. And just for those who um, may be wondering, because I've talked about the spoilers being spoiled and stuff, yes, there are a few things I do know about Egghead. I don't know everything, and I don't know a lot of details. But there are, like, certain basics that I know about Egghead and everything, certain things from it. There are certain things from it that I know of, but again, I don't know all the details. I don't know the depths of it all. I just know the very basic concept of, oh, this occurs. Again, it's just, as I've stated in the past, One Piece fans are the worst when it comes to spoilers. They just do not give a shit. And they won't even tag, like, their tweets with spoiler tags or anything, or any tags. It's like you can't even block anything with, like, a hashtag blocks on the settings because they don't tag them at all. So it's like, I don't even know if there is a way for me to completely avoid that. But as long as I don't know all the details, as long as I know very little and still do my best to avoid it, I'll be mostly fine. It's just there are some things that I won't be able to avoid. But yeah, either way, either way, I am very excited to see what this new opening is like, and I am very excited to see what happens next. So, I think the fight is supposed to end next episode. I think it was 1075 that it's supposed to end. So I think we're going to be really getting the rest of the meat of the fight out in this episode, and next episode is just going to close the fight out. But we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong. In the meantime, let's just get this going. Hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I looked at the new opening again, without pausing and going through it again. On top of the part at the beginning with, like, you know, the stuff in the circle, apart from that just lasting way too long, the opening also feels short. And that makes that part with the circle feel a lot longer. The opening feels so much shorter. And again, the way it just flashes and rushes through a lot of the stuff, it's like you don't really get a chance to view. It's definitely an opening you would have to view multiple times, or do like I did and just keep pausing and rewinding it to catch everything. But it's more like you have to do that to catch almost anything. Because it's like the instant you like look at it at any one shot, you don't even get a chance to take any of it in before it switches to something else. It's like you see it, it's like, oh, I see Tama here, and then it flashes to something else. It's like, wait, was there other people there? I think I saw flashes of other people. You have to go back or watch it again just to see if there were other people in that shot. It goes by so damn quick, and And again, it doesn't feel like an opening. The funny thing is, the new ED actually feels more like an opening. I feel like they should have switched those around. The new ED should be the new opening, and the new opening should be the new ED. Because the new opening feels like an ED, and the new ED feels like an opening. But again, if this is just a temporary thing just to last us until the end of Wano and the post Wano stuff, as well as a possible small filler arc, then whatever. But I really do hope I get more accustomed and used to this one, like I did with the last one, because my initial impressions of this new opening are not just not good, but absolutely terrible. Like it's so bad. It's again, it's extremely well animated. The song is nice, but it doesn't, it's not that it doesn't feel like a One Piece opening, like with what I said at first for the last opening. It doesn't feel like an opening at all for any series. It doesn't, it doesn't get you excited for the episode to come at all. Honestly, it makes you want to fall asleep, if anything. It's just, again, I hope I grow to like it more over time, but I really don't like this opening. Like, this opening, I would say is one of the weakest openings I think I've seen in any anime. And that's saying a lot because I usually even like a lot of the One Piece openings that other people tend to rag on a little bit. The ones that just aren't as good. Even the weakest One Piece openings for me are still pretty darn good. But this is actively really bad, in my opinion. And again, it's not the animation or the music. I'm not gonna like insult anyone who worked on this. It's just I don't like it, and I'm allowed that opinion. I'm allowed to not like something and to think it just doesn't work. I just don't think it works. I think they were trying to go for a lot of stylistic stuff in this, which they've done a lot of in Wano for its multiple openings now. This is like the fourth opening in Wano alone, and all of them have had a stylistic expression to them. Even with just the first Wano opening, you can see the influences with the art and the visuals and whatnot that make it really stand out from previous openings. And they continued to do that as it went along. They continued to keep the classic Japanese theming of Wano within the openings. And they keep that in here. It's very much here. But it feels like it's all style and no substance. It's like, yeah, the opening is hinting at some things to come in the post Wano stuff. Sure, I get that. But again, a lot of this is also just flashing by so fast, you're not going to be able to catch anything. Like, again, I watched through it again. I didn't even see where the Shanks bit was. Shanks and Beckman. I literally only saw that because I was pausing like crazy during that time, just trying to look through it. I didn't see it again at all going through that because it's like it would have flashed by so quickly. I didn't get a chance to. And it's disappointing because, I usually, even with the weakest One Piece openings, I usually like them. And the best of the One Piece openings, I think, are some of the best anime openings out there. But then you have this, and it's just like, this is just a disappointment. I guess maybe this is why I haven't heard anyone talking about the new opening It's just, what is there to even talk about? I hope that the next opening, when we do get to Egghead, is going to be a lot better. I really do. Um, but I might watch this a couple more times and all, but I think overall I'm probably going to end up skipping this a lot more than I'm going to be watching it. Which I don't usually do for One Piece openings, you guys know. Usually I watch it, and in a lot of the cases I've been trying to sing along with it at points. um, but no, I think I'm going to be skipping this one a lot more, unless it really starts to grow on me pretty quickly here. But I don't honestly know if that's going to happen with this one. I really don't. It's like, again, this is probably one of the weakest anime openings I've ever seen. It's not the worst, but it's down there, and that's saying something. It's really not good. But that is just my opinion, of course. So if you really like the new opening, if you really like its stylistic choices and all, that's perfectly fine. Your opinion is just as correct as mine. Let's talk about the episode, though. So, the episode was mostly the Luffy versus Kaido fight. Momo trying to work up to stopping Onigashima still. A little bit of some shots of the Flower Capital. And then basically just everyone else rooting them on. Momo and Luffy specifically. That's pretty much what this episode... and Usopp running through fire. Can't forget about Usopp running through fire. I want to talk about that, actually. I've probably talked about this before, but fuck it, I'm talking about it again. Usopp is the bravest member of the Straw Hats. You might be thinking, like, what? But he's a coward. It's like, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing the right thing in spite of fear, which Usopp always does. There have been a couple times where you've kind of wondered if he would, but he always comes through. Usopp always comes through when he needs to. He always does the right thing in spite of his fear. And yes, he's absolutely a coward. But again, they're not mutually exclusive. Usopp always proves himself. He, I think, is worthy of the warriors of Elbaf, of the courage and strength that they inspire in him. I truly believe that Usopp is one of the best Straw Hats. I made a tier list. I put it on the Discord just the other day, ranking all of the Straw Hats, and Usopp is in my top tier. Right up there with the likes of Robin, Nami, Jinbei. It's like they are just amazing. And Nami actually wouldn't have been up there if it weren't for both Whole Cake and Wano. She has been excellent lately. Like, Nami has been top of her game. Like, she was phenomenal in Whole Cake. Her entire stuff interacting with Sanji's quote-unquote betrayal and everything. The way she reacted to that, the slap. Like, oh my god. And then in this arc, of course, her fight with Alti, her declaration that Luffy will be the king of the pirates, like, oh my god. That moment was so badass and amazing. And again, despite being in excessive fear, Nami is also extremely brave. It's funny that I actually find the bravest characters of the Straw Hats to be the more cowardly ones, Nami and Usopp. Luffy isn't exactly, like, courageous. He's just stupid. He rushes into things without thinking. It's like, it's not really courage. It's more along the lines of recklessness. And it works out, but yeah, a lot of the times he's not in the best shape afterwards for a reason. he's reckless. He has this reckless abandon that we love about him, but I wouldn't call it courage exactly. Um, Zoro Zoro has a little more, but I would even say he's kind of similar to Luffy in that regard. Um, his entire thing is kind of just proving himself. It's not really courage; it's more dedication than anything. Sanji Sanji just does it because it's the right thing to do, and that's kind of his entire thing. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say any of the other Straw Hats does really stand up to that. Nami and Usopp are the bravest members. It's because of their cowardice. It's because they're constantly so scared, but still always doing the right thing. It makes them more brave, more courageous than any of the others to do that. So I will stand up for them any day of the week. um, I will fight by their side for sure. Um, the continued phenomenal animation, completely expected. So it's like, yeah, it's amazing to see. It blows me away and all, but I've already talked about this kind of stuff a lot, especially in this arc. So there's not really much else to discuss. It's phenomenal. It looks great. Works especially well with Gear Fifth. All I really have to say regarding that at this point. Um, but yeah, so I was kind of right, but kind of wrong as well. Um, we're getting we're finishing up this fight next episode for sure. Kaido is done so, and this episode was just the setup for that. It wasn't really the meat of the fight. I was kind of wrong about that. I was saying like this is going to be the meat of the final part of this fight, and that next episode would just conclude everything. No, it seems like more like this was the setup, and next episode will be the payoff. Like they're setting up for Luffy to be doing something really big here, to be like really shattering our expectations, and I think that's going to be really interesting to see how that is, well, paid off next episode. But yeah, yeah. We also, like I said, got some more of the Flower Capital and everything, just kind of showing what we're fighting for and everything. I get the point of that. I didn't expect to see it again, though. I didn't expect to see Toko again. I'm not disappointed by any means. Like I said, I'll finish out with this, talk about this again briefly, but like I was saying in the reaction, I like Toko a lot more than Tama. That might be an unpopular opinion, and I understand why someone might like Tama more. And I still adore Tama. She's an amazing young girl. She herself is extremely brave. Just her being on Onigashima is proof enough of that. Um, but she's been just without question an MVP for this battle. Like she turned it around almost completely. um, and of course we have the love and connection for Tama because of her connection to Ace and everything, and how we met her with being, hungry and eventually sick and everything, giving Luffy the last of her food and drinking the poisoned river water. It's like, yeah, we definitely feel for and care for Tama a lot. But I'm sorry, Toko is just baby. Toko, for one, you have the entire smile fruit thing, and it's just like, that alone is like an exceptional uh, way to get me invested and empathetic towards a character. These defective smile fruits, like, are so actively fucked up and just oppressively disheartening that seeing anyone suffering under that is just like extremely sad to me. Like even Killer, it's like I feel excessively bad for Killer. Like I kind of want to give him a hug, you know? Um, but also the fact that Toko is this young girl, like about the same age as Tama, and she's suffering under this, and then ends up having to watch as her father is killed right in front of her. The most horrifying, most actively depressing thing that could happen to this girl. It's just like, Jesus fuck. It's like, how can you not want to protect her more than anything else? It's like, I just want to be like Robin and just like hold her close and like, and just protect her and keep her safe and happy. And it's like, Jesus, I just want Toko to be happy and safe. Like, again, it's just, there's been multiple characters in this series, like multiple like baby characters like this who are just like extremely like sympathetic and empathetic and everything, and you just like care for them a lot. But oh my god, Toko is probably number one. Like, Toko is probably the most baby of these baby characters. And it's just, again, it's like strong motherly instincts coming out of me. It's just, I want her to be protected. I want her to be safe. I want her to be fed. I want her to be happy. I want her to just have the best life possible. It's just, ugh. That's why I said like showing the flower capital and all. I mean, obviously for other reasons too, but that's why I said that they're kind of showing us like why our heroes are doing all of this. The reasons they're doing all of this for are for all these people. But like for me, it's like especially Toko. Like mostly Toko. like um 60% Toko, 30% Tama, 10% everyone else. I just want her to be safe, okay? I want her to be safe and happy, and I love her so goddamn much. Like she's definitely one of my favorite Wano characters. Um she's up there with the likes of Yamato and Kiku for me, without question. Odin obviously is up there too. Hiyori. There's a lot of great characters in Wano. But anyway, anyway, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode, and tell me what you thought of the new opening. Tell me if you disagreed with me and whatnot. And that, again, that's perfectly fine if you do. It's just my opinion that I didn't like it and everything. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.